Hey there, YouTube. This is CFL Fanatic once again making my picks for CFL 21 or 21 2010 week 2 in the CFL season, and week 1 was a good one. As you know, the season kicked off on Canada Day, and at the half of the first game, it was 24-10 for Montreal. And I was all ready to watch the second half until my family told me that we were going to go see the fireworks. And I said, yeah, you know what? I really don't want to see the fireworks. I'd rather watch the game. And they said, well, too bad. You're coming to the fireworks. So I figured, well, it can't be that bad. I mean, it's not a big deal if I miss one half of one game, right? Well, it turned out to be just about the most exciting game ever played anywhere. So thanks a lot. Anyways, let's take a look at last week, see how I did. 2-2. Remember, I'm trying to beat the big man, Chris Schultz. He is at 1-3, so I am currently ahead of him right now. So I guess that can be looked at as a positive. I got the Toronto game right, unfortunately. Saskatchewan came away with a surprising victory. That was good to see. Too many men, really, too many men. Wow. All right, I'm gonna get into it in just a sec, but before I do, I'd like to just talk about this man, Jim Barker, because he is getting very close to stepping in Bart Andrus territory as far as level of stupidity and cluelessness as far as coaching a team. I'd like to flash back to last week against Calgary. The Argos were down 14-6, and then Chad Owens with that huge punt return for the touchdown. That was incredible to watch. That was about the only moment of the game where I wasn't burying my face in my hands in shame. Anyways, so that takes the score to 14-12, and instead of doing the sensible thing and going for 2, he decides to go for 1. How many times do you think you're going to get down there, Jim? And then later on, when they're down by 7 and they are in scoring range, he elects to go for the field goal, meaning they have to get back there anyways. It's just dumb. Alright, getting on, I just want to touch on this. CFL power rankings are out for week 2, and this is how they stack up. Now, Saskatchewan, I can understand they're in first place right now after the big win against Montreal. Likewise, I understand Toronto's position at the bottom because they truly and utterly suck. That's become very clear, and I don't know if Barker is going to be able to do anything. In fact, he's probably just going to drive them further into the ground. Anyways, but this is where I get confused. See, I do not really understand how Calgary ends up in second after they don't play a great game against Toronto. Winnipeg's down in 4th after they played phenomenally. And what is Montreal doing down in 5th? So I know there's a formula for this, and they measure this, but these rankings don't seem to make any sense to me. So I'm going to revise these, and these are my power rankings. Feel free to disagree with them, but I think Saskatchewan should be first. Winnipeg should definitely be a close second, though. Huge win over Hamilton, and they really dominated that game. Montreal in 3rd, BC 4th, Calgary 5th because they didn't play well, Edmonton 6th, Hamilton 7th, and Toronto 8th. All right. Without further ado, Week 2 in the CFL 2010. First up, Toronto Argonauts at Winnipeg Blue Bombers, another installment of Friday Night Football. You know, I have to say the Argos looked brutal against Calgary. Their offense looked absolutely awful. And but I have to say their defense looked good, but I don't think that they're going to be able to beat the Bombers, so I'm going with Winnipeg to keep on rolling. All right, next game, Calgary Stampeders and Hamilton Tiger Cats. This was a tough game to pick because it's hard to measure Calgary's success, mainly because they were playing Toronto. So, you know, let's not get ahead of ourselves with the win. That's why I didn't think them being in second made a whole lot of sense. And you know what? Hamilton looked very bad against Winnipeg. 29 points, but remember 14 of those were special teams. But you know what? I think I'm going to take Hamilton over Calgary. I'm just going with my gut on that one. All right, Riders and Lions. This is the first game played at Empire Stadium. So it should be interesting to see how this plays out. Schultz is going with BC, but I have to disagree. I think the Riders are going to overpower BC in this one, mainly because of their dominant performance over Montreal. I think they should be able to beat BC. I'm going with the Riders. All right, last game, Montreal Alouettes at Edmonton Eskimos. Edmonton looked very weak against BC. I didn't like their performance, and I have to say I don't think Montreal is going to allow themselves to be beaten twice. They're going to come out, and I think that they're going to be ready. You know what, Montreal, I think might be. This is their chance to make sure that they establish themselves as still the strongest team in the CFL. I'm going with the Alouettes. So those have been my picks. Once again, there they are in case you missed them. Now I know I said I'd show the kickoff footage with Ben, but I'm running out of time. So that's going to be all, and I'll see you next week.